Donc, si vous me permettez, je vais faire la presse en anglais. Mais avant de faire la presse en anglais, j'aimerais vous dire que je suis un peu bouleversé parce que ce sujet me passionne beaucoup. En fait, j'ai écrit ma thèse de doctorat sur les supervised and unsupervised neural networks à Cranfield il y a quelques années. Et donc, en fait, j'ai vraiment envie de dévier du sujet. Mais je ne vais pas dévier, malheureusement. Je suis là, en fait, pour vous parler un peu de la transfo chez Accor, plus particulièrement de la transfo sur Accor Live Limitless. Donc, dans la salle, qui est au courant de All Accor Live Limitless, l'annonce qu'on a fait récemment sur la transformation de notre programme de feed et qu'on a fait récemment d'ailleurs et qu'on a mis sur le jersey du PSG? Quelques personnes? 4 personnes? Bon, peu importe. Il y a eu 29 millions de personnes qui en ont parlé, mais bon, il y a uniquement 4 personnes dans la salle qui en parlent. Donc, Accor Limitless, Live Limitless, en fait, c'est la convergence de notre expérience de fidélité, de notre expérience digitale, de notre expérience in-hôtel. En fait, on appelle ça un journey of change. Et là, je pense en anglais, vous voyez, regardez la bascule. It's a journey of change because at the end of the day, we talked about it, AI is transformation. You don't get to AI overnight. AI is a tool that you apply in a systematic manner, either through use cases or an integrated fashion. At the end of the day, why are we transforming? Why are we changing what we call loyalty today into a new approach to loyalty, which we call lifestyle loyalty? It's very simple. We're not changing because we want to, because we feel like it, because we like it. We're changing because our customers want it. Our customers tell us at the end of the day, they want 4 simple things. They want simplicity. The world is becoming more complex. And at the end of the day, AI simplifies complexity. So what more beautiful connectivity between digital loyalty and AI? So people want simplicity. What does that mean? That means that when they interact with us as a brand, whether you visit us at an Ibis, a Fairmont hotel, a restaurant, or a nightclub, at the end of the day, if you know that you're within an ecosystem, at the end of the day, we should be able to recognize you and make your life simpler. It's a basic expectation. Immediacy. We often talk about millennials wanting everything right away. And I hate that. I'm not a millennial. I just missed the curve by 4 years. But everyone says, oh, millennials, you know, they just want everything. They don't want to wait. And they're right. The reality is, people deserve choice. And when we talk about instant gratification, it doesn't mean free gratification. When people say they want immediacy and relevance in their interactions. They want a capacity to be recognized immediately. And they want a capacity to receive benefits right now. Amazon Prime is a perfect example of how immediacy is delivered to people in real time. People want personalization. I'm not going to bore you with personalization. Everyone knows personalization is at the heart of everything we do. But personalization now is actually way beyond the profiling. It's actually personalization talks about inferred preferences. As you interact with a brand digitally in hotels, customers expect that you will know them. You are collecting their preferences, you're collecting their behaviors, you're collecting every single click they do. At the end of the day, they expect that you are personalizing in real time, within the confines of GDPR, obviously. And obviously, customers want something in the context of hospitality that is beyond the stay. Customers want to be able to be recognized whether they're at live, work, or play. Because we know in hospitality, if somebody is staying on leisure or if somebody is staying on business, they expect us to know the market better than anyone else. And this goes beyond digital transformation. For a long time at Accor, we've been talking about digital transformation. We've been talking about this for many, many years. What's even more important today is a shift from being a product-centric company. We do not sell hotels and beds anymore. We sell customer experience. We sell a multitude of experiences across a multitude of services. And just to showcase, these are a number of companies we've bought or partnered with in only the last 3 years. If you just read this list, it's huge. We've of course, invested in Huazhu in China, which has 100 million loyalty customers in its database. We've invested in creating brands like Joe & Joe. We've bought Banyan Tree, which we've moved aggressively into hospitality for luxury, and we've added services which go way beyond the stay. We've added services which allow us to actually provide restoration to some of our customers, concierge services, and we keep on adding services which really get into the everyday life interaction of customers. We do this because we know that at the end of the day, people want more than a commodity. People want to be accompanied in their everyday life. And in order to optimally accompany people in their everyday life, creating and buying assets is just no longer enough. The key is to create an ecosystem of assets with data at its core, with loyalty at its core, which is connected and allows us to actually multiply the touch points and increase the utility of the interaction of a customer with a brand, our totality of brands every day. And when you interact, and I'm really thrilled, because earlier we mentioned airlines, and for me, when you travel, your experience is not with Accor hotels. Your experience is with Uber. Your experience is with an airline. Your experience might then be with Careem rideshare if you land in Dubai. Your experience might then be with Accor hotel. And then your experience might be with one of the multiple venues and restaurants in the city where you essentially visit. And that is the ecosystem of travel. By connecting data and interactions across a massive ecosystem like this one, you actually unlock an incredible amount of power and relevance as it pertains to your customer value proposition. And that's what we're doing. And that's why when we announced Accor Live Limitless, we stopped looking at our business as, oh, we have this digital channel called AccorHotels.com, which is a direct booking channel, which provides an incredible amount and richness of hotels people can transact with. And of course, Le Club Accor Hotels, if you're really interested in Accor, you can join our loyalty program. It's completely irrelevant to separate loyalty from some of the direct booking channels. At the end of the day, if you're interacting with a direct booking channel, the loyalty program is an expected component of your experience. If you look at how our Chinese partners are doing this, they have essentially merged both these components into one experience. In China, 100% of people that interact with hotels are part of their loyalty programs. So we've essentially merged our digital experience with our loyalty experience and created Accor Live Limitless, which is one platform which brings together the whole ecosystem that I've expressed before under one touch. And this platform, which will evolve through time, because Frankenstein IT is totally true, is a platform which customers expect, very much like Rakuten or very much like Alibaba that was presented earlier. These organizations have created ecosystems of partners and data that allow customers to essentially get presented with relevant content, whether they're actually on site or whether they're actually traveling, and which enriches everyday life. So here's a little video to just showcase a bit what it feels like.
Imagine a lifestyle loyalty program on a single platform where you can live, work, and play seamlessly personalized to you. You, your style, your way. Discover a world of experiences and extraordinary partnerships, and be rewarded for all that you do. Every day, on the move, all in one place. Welcome to all. Accor Live Limitless. All for one. All for you.
There you go. That's what our marketing team has done. I certainly cannot put that together myself. So of course, what is Accor Live Limitless? Of course, Accor Live Limitless at its core is a loyalty program. And I invite you to look online. There's all kinds of detail around this. We've created a program which is, of course, structurally more appealing. We've introduced new status levels. We enriched the benefits. And, of course, we've introduced new partnerships and experiences. But the most important part of all of this is that when you look at this program, it's a program which allows us to extend into the everyday life of customers. So because I only have 6 minutes left, and I see the timer here almost going to yellow and green and red, I'll walk you through specifically what it means. Of course, we've moved into luxury. As our organization evolves and we are continuously challenging ourselves to increase the relevance to our customers. In the luxury space, of course, what we need to do is provide more status to customers. That's a no-brainer. We've added 2 new levels of status. We've also enriched the benefits, and this is where it gets interesting. We are actually stepping outside the bounds of traditional hospitality. Enriched benefits for us does not only mean, of course, providing more brands to interact with from a pure loyalty perspective. It's about allowing people now to actually earn and burn points in 10,000 restaurants worldwide. So when we talked about being part of everyday life, think about restoration. Who likes to eat? If no one lifts your hand, seriously, you should all be dead, okay? Everyone likes to eat. At the end of the day, this was one of the #1 requests of our customers, was to say, recognize me, every day. If I want to eat at a bar, particularly, in China or particularly in Asia and the Middle East, hotels and restaurants are where people live. And we were not even recognizing customers where they live, where they actually spend most of their time, where they go with their expat friends and families. And so we've missed a number of turns along the way, but as we look at our expanded ecosystem and what loyalty means to customers, we're now expanding the program, the experience, to integrate all of those elements. Partnerships are another good example. We talked about airlines before, but we will be adding partnerships around credit, payment, rideshare, urban mobility, you name it, every day on the move and wherever people may be. And of course, we're introducing a new brand identity, and it will be launched in iconic locations like Piccadilly Circus, for example. But let me talk about what this means for customers and how the data here is incredibly rich. This is what it means to expand an ecosystem, and I'll just let you think about the ways that this data can be utilized on an everyday basis. As we introduce loyalty and experiences in an everyday base, this means that we actually start introducing payments. We introduce co-brand credit cards into people's hands. This allows us to actually have a much closer partnership with some of our customers. Some of these payment opportunities also extend into other areas. We can actually have a retail partnership. We have ticketing and home entertainment partnerships. We signed a relationship with Ibis and Sony recently in the music space. So this actually allows us to start having information around people's passions and the ability to actually live with them every day. We're signing partnerships with organizations in rideshare, airlines. We have multiple airline relationships. And as you look at the combination of all these relationships, you start being able to tell a story. Well, how amazing would it be if in your rideshare, the rideshare company actually knew what hotel you were actually staying at because you've connected your two accounts? What if in your rideshare app, you could actually check in? What if vice versa in your Accor Live Limitless application, you could also connect with your rideshare provider. You could also complete your reservation. You could also book a unique experience or a sold-out soccer match or a football match or a sold-out concert. This is what we're building. And when you think about the ecosystem we're building an ecosystem that goes beyond the transactional. At the end of the day, we're building an ecosystem which, of course, resonates with the passions that come out of the data of our customers, because our customers tell us they like to eat, they don't like to die, they like entertainment, so they like shows, and of course, they like sport, because certainly we would not have signed a sponsorship with Paris Saint-Germain if they did not. But at the end of the day, we need to translate that data beyond the transactional. People are used to transactional data being used to deliver transactional things. We need to utilize data to inspire people and connect to the emotional side, because we all know that at the end of the day, what we're left with is not points, it's memories. And the new currency of choice for customers is not points, it's experiences. And, for some of the older people in the room, or for some of the younger people, this is Instagram, Nothing happens unless you report on Instagram. For some of the older people in the room, it's just moments, right? You close your eyes and you think back 30 years ago when you had an amazing meal. It's the same thing. The only difference is we actually managed to digitize this experience, and we can actually deploy them at scale. Now let's talk about connecting it all. This is where it gets complicated, let's face it. What we've done today, of course, is we've managed to actually personalize a lot of our experiences. We've seen reference to our bot earlier. We've personalized in a very use case focused kind of way. We're very, very focused today in terms of delivering personalization in a vertical manner. Right? We've delivered the, personalization in the attract space with the optimization of customer acquisitions through a DMP. We've delivered some increasing conversion results by working with companies like Tiny Clues, which allows us to expand the selection of appropriate universes for campaigns. We're using a company called Traversify to do hotel and restaurant DNA, which allows us to actually provide relevant recommendation around these spaces. And of course, we've introduced some real-time decisioning engines to provide recommendations around real-time relevance in terms of what is the next likely destination hotel that you want to utilize. The challenge is not that. The challenge is essentially in the context of an expanded ecosystem to bring all of this together, and all those brands that you saw earlier, every single one of these brands had their own IT legacy. And so how can we really deliver relevance at scale in that kind of an ecosystem? And the only way you can really do that is, of course, by doing a massive work around data connectivity. And there's multiple ways of doing that, which I'm not going to get into, but you need to completely connect the data to have a fully connected, single customer view. And I was talking to institutional investors yesterday, and this is the kind of stuff that really interests them. When you look at as an investor at Accor, what you really want is you want to know that Accor is doing everything they can to maximize the customer value of their customers. Not in hotels, not in restaurants, but across every single touch point where they interact with. And so the question here is really, how do you connect your data? How do you create your single customer view? And frankly, how do you really go omni-channel? Omni-channel, of course, as you all know in this room, because you're all experts, is not selling across all channels. It's essentially providing a synchronized experience across all of these channels. And of course, only at that point, and this is all the work we're doing to really streamline our Frankenstein IT, and only once we streamlined it can we truly deliver on the ambition of Accor Live Limitless. And this is what it means. I know I'm 2 minutes over time, but at the end of the day, this means essentially completely overhauling your core legacy IT systems, simplifying them, putting it out there in the cloud. This really talks about creating a system of APIs that allows you to connect to new hotels and new partners in one day. I can assure you it takes a lot longer than 1 day to integrate an organization we purchased today or we actually partner with today. It talks about really creating a data ecosystem, which is essentially seamless and shared. It's about creating, of course, a completely interconnected omni-channel interaction system. So this is really where we talk about the marketing technology stack, which we are completely looking to overhaul because you cannot deliver at scale in an omni-channel manner without a stack which is really seamlessly integrated. Of course, it's about a journey which goes beyond the stack. The stack only gives you a capability. The journey really is where the rubber hits the road, and developing journeys on a set of use cases, and more importantly, on a subset of segments, which make sense to the right customers. And of course, it's about welcome pay, which is about payment. And so at the end of the day, all I want to say is all of this only happens with cultural change. You cannot do all this change without substantially changing how you work internally, because a seamless journey cuts across all of our P&Ls. And on that note, I want to thank you.